Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn, and here's the headlines. Spreading love for nations, sea and islands. Cà Mau province set to become drive growth of Mekong Delta region. Vietnam attends meeting on UN peacekeeping operations in India. On October the 17th, under the chair of National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, the Standing Committee of the National Assembly concluded its 50th session. Earlier, the deputy discussed several bills and adopted major resolutions and decisions. After reviewing the government's proposal, the Standing Committee approved an adjustment to personal income tax deductions, increasing the deduction for taxpayers to $588 per month and for each dependent to $235 per month. This policy is expected to reduce state budget revenue by about $796.6 million per year and will take effect from the 2026 tax year, with final settlement in the first quarter of 2027. The Standing Committee also requested the drafting agencies to institutionalize key contents of Politburo Resolution No. 72, aiming for citizens to receive free annual health checkups or screenings from 2026 and to gradually implement hospital fee exemptions by 2030. In his closing remarks, Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn emphasized that after 6.5 days of intensive work, the 50th session had completed a substantial agenda with 40 topics discussed directly or decided in writing, achieving high levels of consensus. On October the 16th in Hanoi, the party's Central Committee's Commission for Information, Education and Mass Mobilization, in coordination with the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army and relevant agencies, held the award ceremony for the 3rd National Art Photography Contest and exhibition, The Fatherland by the Waves, in 2025. Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, head of the party's Central Committee's Commission for Information, Education and Mass Mobilization, addressed the event. Also in attendance were General Trịnh Văn Quyết, chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army. The 3rd edition of the contest received nearly 16,000 photos from over 3,500 authors nationwide, with both quantity and quality improved. The creative works capturing Vietnam's natural beauty, the resilience of coastal communities, and the silent sacrifices of those protecting the country's maritime sovereignty and rights. The authors demonstrated great effort and creativity in their work. They are truly passionate about the sea and the country. Only with such love can they produce photos that deeply convey these emotions to viewers. Through multiple rounds of judging, the panel selected 150 outstanding works for exhibition and awarded 22 top entries, including 2 first prizes, 4 second prizes, 6 third prizes, and 10 consolation prizes. I wanted to convey a message. Vietnam's sea is incredibly rich and beautiful. Our seas and islands hold immense value and strategic importance. Loving the sea, loving the islands, and loving the fatherland, each of us should take meaningful and practical actions to express that love for our country, especially our maritime territories. Mr. Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa emphasized the need for central and local agencies to further innovate communication about the sea and islands and promote Vietnam's landscapes, culture, and people as a source of soft power to enhance the country's global standing. Building on the contest's success, the party's Central Committee's Commission for Information, Education and Mass Mobilization will work with relevant agencies to publish bilingual photo books, develop virtual exhibitions, and organize displays nationwide to foster public pride in Vietnam's maritime heritage. Determined to develop Cà Mau rapidly and sustainably while ensuring solid national defense and security, it's the key goal set at the first Congress of the Cà Mau Provincial Party Committee for the 2025-2030 term, which opens on the morning of October the 17th. on behalf of the Politburo and the Secretariat, Secretary of the Ho Chi Minh City Party Committee, Chen Lu Quang, addressed the Congress. Over the past 5 years, the party committees, authorities and armed forces of Cà Mau and former Bạc Liêu provinces have strived to comprehensively implement their goals and tasks with positive results to successfully achieve the goal by 2030 to turn Cà Mau into a driving force of the Mekong Delta region, a hub of rapid, sustainable and comprehensive development. The Congress agreed to carry out 6 key tasks: building a clean and strong party and political system, rapid and sustainable economic development, with implementation of key projects, making breakthroughs in science and technology development, digital transformation and renovation, developing education, training, healthcare, culture, society, ensuring national defense security, making breakthroughs in human resource development, attracting highly qualified ones, making breakthroughs in synchronous and modern development of socio-economic infrastructure. On October the 17th, at the launching ceremony for the mission to search and repatriate the remains of the Vietnamese martyrs who fell in Laos in wartime, Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương, Deputy Minister of National Defense, praised the dedication and achievements of the units and localities under Military Region 4 regarding the work in recent years. During the 2024-2025 dry season, the region's 8 search teams recovered 222 sets of remains, including 140 in Vietnam and 82 in Laos. For the new season, the teams have received 138 pieces of information related to about 197 remains of martyrs in Laos. Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương urged the Steering Committee 515 and relevant provinces to ensure the best conditions for the mission, uphold the noble image of Uncle Ho soldiers, and strengthen coordination with Laos authorities and people to complete the task successfully. He also requested full and timely implementation of incentive policies for the personnel. On October the 17th, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of National Defense held a signing ceremony for the transfer of the Vietnam Mine Action Center and the Vietnam Mine Action Fund from the Ministry of Home Affairs to the Ministry of National Defense. Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, and Mr. Nguyễn Văn Hồi, Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, co-chaired the ceremony. The Vietnam Mine Action Center was established under Decision No. 598 of the Ministry of Labour, War Invalids and Social Affairs on April the 29th, 2008, and then transferred to the Ministry of Home Affairs for management. According to Decision No. 1510 of the Prime Minister, issued on July the 10th, 2025, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of National Defense agreed to sign the minutes of transfer of the status quo of the 2 units. Speaking at the event, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến affirmed that the government's assignment of the Ministry of National Defense to receive the Vietnam Mine Action Center and the Vietnam Mine Action Fund aims to unify national coordination on overcoming the consequences of mines and bombs, improve the effectiveness of implementing the National Action Program, demonstrate the government's determination in completely overcoming the consequences of war, ensuring safety for the people, serving the sustainable development of the country. On October the 17th in Hanoi, Senior Lieutenant General Lê Huy Vịnh, Deputy Minister of National Defense and head of the Steering Committee for the National Level Symposium commemorating the 60th anniversary of the Playmare Victory, November the 26th, 1965, November the 26th, 2025, chaired a meeting of the Steering Committee. The event aims to reaffirm the sound and timely strategic decisions of the party's Central Committee, headed by President Ho Chi Minh, in launching the Playmare campaign, while highlighting Vietnam's thorough preparation and operational planning. It also underlines the campaign's decisive contribution to the overall victory of the resistance against American imperialism for national liberation and reunification. Senior Lieutenant General Lê Huy Vịnh requested the Institute of Military Strategy and History of Vietnam and relevant agencies to work closely with the Gia Party Committee to ensure comprehensive preparation and effective communication, making the symposium dignified, meaningful and successful. On October the 17th in Hanoi, the Party Committee of the General Staff held a conference to announce the results of the 12th Military Party Congress and the 13th Congress of the 13th Party Central Committee. The event saw the attendance of Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tấn, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, Secretary of the Party Committee of the General Staff, and Major General Nguyễn Bá Lực, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army. The conference aims to unify awareness, thought and action throughout the agency, strengthen trust in the party's leadership, and at the same time enhance the responsibility of party committees and chain of command in dissemination work to officers and soldiers of the General Staff. Right after the conference, the film Red Rain, recreating the heroic 81-day and night battle at Quảng Trị Ancient Citadel in 1972, was screened. Coming up next, Vietnam attends meeting on UN peacekeeping operations in India. Vietnam People's Army contributes over $1.25 million to support Cuban people. At the invitation of the Ministry of Defense of India, a delegation from the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, led by Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, attended the Chiefs of Army Staff conclave for countries contributing troops to United Nations peacekeeping missions in New Delhi from October the 13th to the 18th. In his speech, Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa reaffirmed Vietnam's consistent policy and strong commitment to UN peacekeeping, reflecting its international responsibility and foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, peace, cooperation and development. He proposed several solutions to enhance the effectiveness of UN peacekeeping forces, including better personnel preparation, enhanced training, adequate and adaptable equipment, and improved performance in multilateral environments. He also stressed the importance of international cooperation in research, experience sharing, and capacity building, promoting the use of science and technology, particularly digital tools and AI, to ensure operational safety and adaptability, and integrating environmental and security considerations to ensure peacekeeping efforts are effective, sustainable, and long-lasting. As part of his participation in the conference, Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa paid a courtesy call on Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and held a bilateral meeting with General Upendra Dwivedi, Chief of the Army Staff of India. During these meetings, Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa congratulated India on successful organization of the conference and emphasized that Vietnam-India bilateral defense cooperation has been continuously strengthened and has achieved many substantive outcomes. He proposed continued close coordination in areas such as delegation exchanges, training and UN peacekeeping, while also exploring potential cooperation in cybersecurity, military medicine and search and rescue. The Indian Defence Minister and Chief of the Army Staff affirmed continued cooperation in UN peacekeeping, exchanges of young officers and instructors, and expanded strategic research. On the sidelines, Senior Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa also met with heads of delegations from different countries. Responding to the campaign 65 Years of Vietnam-Cuba Solidarity, officers and soldiers in the home military have raised over $1.25 million in donation. On October the 17th, on behalf of the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense, representatives from the Department of Mass Mobilization presented the token to the Vietnam Red Cross Society. In addition to contributions through the Ministry of National Defense, many officers and soldiers have also donated directly via the Red Cross 2022 humanitarian account. The campaign, launched by the party, the state and the Vietnam Fatherland Front, has so far raised over $23.32 million, nearly 10 times its original goal. Of this amount, $14.6 million was transferred to Cuba to help mitigate disaster impacts. Although the official campaign period concluded on October the 16th, donations to the military bank's humanitarian account will remain open until October the 25th. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.